Pretty coordinated opening here for the sister teams as they walk on stage. It will be our first ever sister match here in Apex Promos. And we are going into this. This is going to be a pretty interesting one, as with sister teams, they know each other very well. And so oftentimes you end up with a bit of a crazy meta, as been described in Heroes of the Storm as the inbred meta, as we have the sister MVP teams there as well. But fourth in Challengers versus fourth in Apex. You have to give the edge to Infinity, considering they're coming from the Premier League, whereas Space barely got through Challengers down there in fourth place.
But I wanted to give Infinity a lot of latitude yesterday in their match against Rhino Gaming's Titans, and didn't deserve that latitude. You know, they've done so well in Apex. Sure, 0-3 in terms of match score, but 2-3 against Meta Athena, who went far in the tournament, 2-3 against Envious, the Season 1 champions. You wanted to give them a lot of latitude, but they struggled and then some, and that was a very one-sided match for both. Remember, both these teams, no map wins yesterday.
Yeah, Infinity going into last season of promotions, Achilles and I cast them go through. There was the storyline there with Flash, the Lucio player who immediately retired afterwards. The team looked solid, though. They looked like, okay, maybe a step behind Runaway and Athena, maybe perhaps the third best team to come out of promos there. However, then they really underperformed in Apex. They almost took the series against Envious. Then they almost took the series later on against Meta Athena. Yeah.
But the 3-0 against BK Stars was kind of the surprise, right? They'd done so well against, on paper, tougher opposition, and then wilted against BK Stars, who did not have a Season 2 to speak about. But
yeah.
Still going to be a lot of fans here of the MVP organization, at least. This is one of those unique moments of Korean esports where sister teams have always been a common thing. You know, League of Legends outlawed that way back in 2014. So it's been a while since I've been able to cast any semblance of a sister team match.
Yeah, you know, in Heroes of the Storm, there's MVP sister teams. That's actually now banned from Heroes of the Storm. However, MVP is the only org that was grandfathered in by Blizzard given their history with the game. So, you know, it's just MVP straight up in Heroes of the Storm, and I cast them regularly. And it always feels with the MVP teams, there's a learner and a master. For Heroes of the Storm, Black is the master, Miracle is the learner. And it feels like in this case, Infinity is the master, Space is the learner. But with both teams really performing very poorly, it almost feels like they might be best to learn from someone else.
I mean, MVP Black, you know, MVP Ozone back in the day, there was always someone with some runs on the board, and not really much to separate these two teams, as you say. So almost feels like two learners, I guess, is the best way to describe it, given that we're not, you know, in Apex Finals. We're in Apex Promotions. So it's on a different end of the scale.
And going back to what you were saying about Infinity, they came off that strong performance in the promotions. Then they had a pretty lackluster, let's say, Apex. But I feel like they still looked okay. But when we saw them play just yesterday, it was really weak. And, you know, obviously one of these teams will have to win. But this could be Space's chance to kind of take the upper hand once again, like Apex Season 1, where they were the team that was in Apex, and it was Infinity going up to the Challengers. They've never both been in Apex at the same time. And with the performance we've seen from them this time around in this Super Week, I highly doubt we'll be seeing that ever the case, at least not for Season 3.
Yeah, but if you're a fan of Korean esports, neither of them being there and MVP not being represented in the highest league would also be, you know, a sad, if unsatisfying result. But let's focus on the match at hand. MVP Space first to be represented here, trying to come up from Apex, as we saw. Apex Challengers 4th place, so still a bit of a ascent to climb. They went down 3-0 to Combox, who of course did qualify for Apex Season 3 in one of our earlier sets.
Indeed they did. I feel like when you look at MVP Space, their most impressive player is going to be Daily for sure. He's had some really good Graviton surges, so look out for that. He might be able to turn fights with that alone. Climax as well, not a terrible DPS player. Definitely had some issues, and closer to the Lucio, we'll have to keep it tight as we are playing on the live patch. Sad times ahead for these two. Gonna have to knock one of their teammates and friends, as you saw the kind of friendly entrance here for these two teams into that final lower bracket, the elimination match.
I feel like the friendly entrances can turn into some heated moments. Who knows what's going to happen at the MVP Gaming House when they're trying to come off the VOD review of this particular series. We move on to MVP Infinity, who you'd probably look at the DPS duo here of specifically Easy Bro, who I think has been one of the most impressive players, but One Fact as well. These two kind of carried them in a lot of their best moments, and they've both been pretty creative as well. So seeing if they can potentially cut through the defenses of MVP space and propel Infinity to, at least on paper, the expected victory.
Yeah, with the 0-3 line score in Apex Season 2, and you look at that number, it lets you know there were 2 series they nearly won, but failed to complete. So we'll see if they can close it out in this one, as we've seen.
I don't think I could take another almost reverse sweep. We've already had 2
Yeah,
today.
I was going to say, with how things have been going tonight, no one's getting sweeps, reverse sweeps.
And if we're going on what's happening tonight, we're expecting to go to Nepal, but it's actually going to be 2-2. Lijiang Tower going to be where we're going for this first map.
Half and half for this sister match.
The Oasis, for once, is deserted.
Yep. Unfortunately, you're not going to be seeing any more crazy Farah or Sombra play. Very unlikely, at least from these two. I haven't seen anything like that from yesterday's matches.
This suits MVP Infinity pretty well. I think Easy Bro in particular, if he's on the Genji, could certainly a lot of pain on Lijiang Tower. But as you say, there's always something different. Something's always in the air. And when sister teams face off, and they're going to have plenty of experience against each other, so it could be some next level outplays or potentially hero picks. There's a lot on the line, but also a lot of creativity that could be shown on Lijiang Tower.
Well, one of these teams will have to walk home victorious. They can't lose against each other.
They're probably going on the same bus, let's be real.
Yeah, probably so, man. But taking that MVP van home could be an awkward ride. Will it be Space or Infinity that takes the lead here on Lijiang Tower? That's what we're here to find out. Let's jump into game number 1.
I get it.
We have the MVP fighting call. No counter calls.
Yep. We're all fans of MVP here on this blessed day. I think if we're going to see Orisa tonight, this is the matchup we'll see it in. Things are going to get a bit weird. This is going to be a messy series.
I don't know if Climax is going to be the one flexing onto the Orisa.
It's really weird that Climax will actually occasionally flex onto Ana, even though Yaki is normally the Ana player. Now he's on the Tracer, so we'll see if they swap it up for, before they actually come out of the gates.
Oh, will they get the basket?
No!
Nailed it! Oh,
didn't go through.
Oh, rim shot. Sad days.
So close. It was nothing but net, just not through the rim.
Sad voice.
Okay, so Yaki is actually going to be flexing again here. Normally the Ana, that's his main hero, now onto the Tracer.
No clean answer to Genji, though. This is certainly the one where I expected Easy Bro's Genji to be kind of a big factor. And speaking of, already in the front lines, taking out Climax. No McCree or counter Genji. Will die, though. So it's only a 1-for-1.
Indeed, Yaki very low as well. Have to pop off and get that heal. Daily knocks Bianca out of the mech. And
kills coming through from MVP Space. It's close to a wipe from their side.
Space is going to get the cap here, and the ult advantage going to this one. Bianca knocked out of the mech early, a big problem there. Notably, Bianca basically a Diva-only player. I don't even know if there's anything more on record for her. It's like 99%.
I've got Diva double underlined in my notes, so I think you're 100%
pretty sure it's
on the
like
board there.
100% Diva. There's no other performances in his career on other heroes as far as we know.
Why not with a role change as well? Used to be Zarya player, now on support. Lucio.
Well, building up quite a bit of meter here. One Fact has the Pulse Bomb. Bianca picks 2. Pulse Bomb not needed as One Fact goes down. Yaki looking for that potential Pulse Bomb to drop it in here. It's a pretty even exchange. Infinity does get the retake, though, in Space. Unfortunately, even though wasting that Pulse Bomb, not going to use anything else to try to contest. They didn't have
Primal Rage as well as Kuki, completely disconnected. That was just a waste from the side of the Winston.
Yeah, I mean, the Pulse Bomb, I was like, maybe they're just going to look for a pick. They're going to build this. They don't have any other ults to pair with it anyways, but yeah, that was nothing more but a waste. As we see the Primal Rage coming over here, this time for Breck.
They would have died to just use it. And we see the tactical visor now, the nano visor coming through from Climax, dumping all of it into Winston. Doesn't even kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The opposite of efficient there with that one, but he will get the kill on the One Fact with the Helix rockets. As the self-destruct is popped in here, 2 kills for the side of Space as they look for this recapture. EasyBro has the Dragon Blade. Will he commit to defend? So far, no. I think they're just going to let this one go. No reason to force the issue.
EasyBro hasn't really found a spot for the Dragon Blade. Had it for a long time, but not able to expend it so far in this push. Disconnected with the nano boost.
Anti-synergy has been the name of the game for these ults so far. EasyBro, once again, just going to pop this ult alone with nothing to pair.
Double kill there.
There's a double.
Gets both the Ana and the Genji. Really big pickup here from Yaki. He's been probably the star performer so far of this first map. Daily chases down Breck, and we're going to see the tick up. Going to be about 80-85% before we see a future contest from MVP Infinity.
They're at 70% now, but when EasyBro propped the ult, they were about 40, maybe 45. No reason for that commitment. Probably better to wait for either at least the sound barrier or the nano boost, but he was
one
just
of those weird situations where you didn't get to use it the first 2 times, didn't find a spot, and then overuse it. Or over-chase in that particular regard. Climax so low, but staying alive with the healing station.
I swear he went sub 10 on that one. Eventually dies regardless here, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 as Bianca pops in for the kill here. Yaki about to have a pulse bomb. Space holds on for now. Infinity's going to have to force this to work. There is Primal Rage. EasyBro looking for that second Dragon Blade. He may have the nano with it.
Contest the point. Also 99% already for MVP Space.
Yeah, they do get in here with the Winston. He's just dropping up, putting that shield down. Brexton wait, use a Primal Rage at the last second. There it is. Trying to give EasyBro enough time for the nano. Looks like it's going to be used elsewhere, though. Climax with 1 kill on him before he can get it. There's the double, and this will be a hold. The time ticks down here. No one can get on. An attempt here for Breck. Bianca will follow suit, but it's not going to be enough as the spawns are too staggered here. They can't get a single kill. There you have it.
Time goes down quickly. It's going to be MVP Space picking up a very messy first point on Lijiang Tower. I really liked what MVP Infinity had put together, but disconnected and then some. EasyBro's one ultimate was kind of used for no gain whatsoever. No nano blades to speak of in a full control point. Assault map is a surprise, let's say, when Ana and Genji were locked in the entire time. And predictably, when we had casting 2 teams that went 0-3 yesterday, not too much to talk about in the positives column.
Yeah, you really have to be brutally honest in moments like these. As we head into our second point here, let's see which one it was.
On to
it's going to be the Garden as we head in, so that explains the Pharah picks on both sides. EasyBro's got the damage amplification. Pharmacy on both sides looks to be direct mirror comp, so the only way to kill a Pharah in this situation is with your own. Direct hit here for Climax.
Oh, onto
second. Yeah, there's going to be the kill on Mercy immediately.
Climax separating himself from his opposite number, although now both Mercies are dead. Watching here, Yaki tracking on the bot. Had a very nice first round for MVP Space. Watching him track as well. Once again, it's going to be first claim for MVP Space. Was pretty quickly flipped over for MVP Infinity.
When you talk about who's the favorite in this series based on the results alone, it doesn't always really line up to recent performances.
Sure.
And as we were talking about earlier, Infinity looked very disjointed in their series yesterday.
I mean, MVP Infinity were probably the worst performing team on day one, but you want to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because of past results. But like you say, in a young game with patches coming through since that time, it seems like those results are completely irrelevant today.
And all that matters is game day, right? And this is just not them performing. We thought something would change from yesterday, but nothing has. One fact, going to get the final pickoff kill here onto Laris. Climax gets the revenge kill here onto Undyne.
Both Mercy's been taken down. Very low ult meter on both. Laris at 73, but given it's one of the fastest charging ultimates, a bit of a concern for the Mercy play.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, that early kill onto Undyne is going to be why the reason he has the lead, Laris, that is. 47%, nearly half the point here right now. A lot more ults for Infinity. They need to make use of them soon, though. Even without the res, I'd say it's time to commit. Bianca's actually going to pick up a triple here with the boost. Might have even knocked a few off the side. It wasn't fully shown to us there. But that's going to be the retake, as Laris is about to have the resurrect.
5% for the first capture on the side of MVP Space, but like you mentioned, a lot of tools to potentially flip the point.
And it's important that Infinity just got this off of Bianca's rocket boost alone, not actually going to have to use ults in order to take...
Nice mid-air shot there, but going to be healed through. Mercy the preferential target. Both sides using the sound barrier, waiting for the first pick. So close on both sides. It's our barrage available. There's the first pick onto closer, so one healer dead on the side of MVP Space.
Okay, here we go. Rocket Barrage coming in. The res comes out. Blocking is that Diva defense matrix, the counter to the res here. So Undyne gets the pop off here. They hold on to the point a little bit longer. Still having the ult advantage as well. Daily only the one having it with that self-destruct. As Climax is trying to force this, but missing quite a few of his rockets.
Both Pharahs not necessarily inspiring confidence means that everyone backs away. But all this time, MVP Infinity's control meter is going up to 60% already with no crucial picks and double res, stopping all the initial picks to begin things earlier.
Daily just going to drop out this in the middle of nowhere. Still gets the kick onto Why Not, yeah. Bit of an odd position. Why Not perhaps not expecting where that was going to land, as we see Daily looking for the kill here onto Winston as well.
Pretty low health bars on the side of MVP Infinity, although Undyne's out of the action, so has been able to get the healing from the passive.
Okay. Easy bro, looking for these picks.
And the flip did come through from MVP Space, and now they're the ones going up because the rest of MVP Infinity had to back away because of their low health bars.
Well, this has been quite a fiasco here on Garden so far. The ult lead is hard to really identify. It looks like slightly in favor of Infinity, but just so slightly because of the res. This is their opportunity to retake, but they've only got 10 seconds approximately with 10% left on the clock to make this happen.
Just a single pick here will be massive, but not necessarily the tools to do so. Both Primal Raiders up at the same time. Some Mad Ape action on your screen in just a second.
Okay, Lars should be able to get his resurrect up here in a second. Undyne uses his with the sound barrier, so everyone is resurrected with that extra shielding. Daily goes down here, but there's the resurrect from Lars. Should be called Lazarus in this case. With the triple kill coming out here, and Infinity look to recapture this point. No more resurrect this time.
We're watching here the missile barrage finish from Easy Bro, one of the few people on Infinity who's been able to actually pull off the Pharah right at the end after the initial shots went wide. It looks like it's going to be the claim from MVP Infinity.
Yeah, Space is just going to back off and look for another push. They have the self-destruct. They have the rocket barrage. If they could pick Bianca first, that would be the best way to approach this, because the rocket barrage won't have much of an answer besides Breck's bubble shield in order to block it. So that's the target here, I'd say, for Space. Knock the Diva out of the suit and go Hail Mary in with the rocket barrage.
We need to know that it's 75% already on the res, and Mercy obviously always going to be one of the first targets to take out, as there is the mid-air kill. It's Climax off-screen taking out Easy Bro, so he's won the Pharmacy duo.
Okay, he's just going to pop the rocket barrage, but right in to that defense matrix. Breck's the first to get the kill onto Kuki. And that was not the barrage they were looking for. Lars going to have a res here in a moment as they fight on top of this point, currently controlled by Infinity. The time ticks down.
Res advantage is there for MVP Space. They need to try MVP Infinity to track down Lars. One pick so far.
Okay, here's the res. He's going to jump in for it in a second here.
Doesn't use it, so Daily will die. No, does res. Okay, so will be Daily.
He has to pop his mech, though, and he loses it immediately. So this is a problem.
Still tracking the fight. Still so even. Yaki's dead, though. Dies with ultimate up. Remember, the res already used. I think MVP Infinity inching forward.
But looks that way, a barrage coming in, but blocked mostly by the pillar. Good dodges here by the members of MVP Space. They are actually ahead right now. While I take it back with a kill there from Breck. It's a very close exchange here. Shots fired on both sides. There's a sound barrier popping down.
Second from Closer keeps him alive, keeps him contesting the point. Closer's still alive, actually, out of the AoE, though. Haven't seen a meter tick down at all. Insane how long this 99% contest has gone.
Yeah, neither team's really having a super big edge, so this just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. The longest we've seen.
Dies first with res up. That could be big.
That actually will be huge. It very likely will, but Lars doesn't have his yet. They need to stay on this point. Daily just desperately trying to get his mech back here. 83% to call it down. Yaki looking for the pick here, looking for the pick.
I can't get it. Lucio gets out, but I'm just no longer contesting the point. Undyne still in the area with ultimate.
Okay,
up.
Lars has
double mercy.
He has the res, but he goes
dies.
down. He goes down here. Yaki still has the pulse bomb. He needs to make it very valuable here.
Infinity with a massive advantage with the Mercy, still alive, can swoop in and ult at any time, but no one's dead on the side of Infinity.
He just needs to make sure he doesn't die.
Finally close it.
Okay, the self-destruct buying a little bit more time. Lars needs to get in here.
Remember, it is Infinity
Daily.
with the control on the point.
Daily,
so
the last one. The time's ticking down. Who gets in here? It looks like just Climax. He's killed immediately, but here comes that res that we were looking for. But it looks like Infinity has finally really taken the fight to them. Getting too many kills here. 2, it's 6v4 now. One fact, looking for the pickoffs here on the Lars. He already used his res. He goes down. Daily's dead without being able to drop the self-destruct.
It's complete insanity. There also is the sound barrier. This fight continues.
It never is going to end, Papa Smith. Here we go.
Not. We're waiting
You and
for
I are
another
gonna be here
Mercy
till
ultimate.
midnight. Yeah.
Let's just talk at the same time. That's like the match right now as both MVP teams struggling to hold it. Infinity
But Infinity with definitely
control.
the edge, absolutely. A little bit more time bought here from the Baby Diva
must be
Daily,
it.
but there's the tick down. Infinity finally is going to bring us to a 3rd point as we go into Control Tower.
Felt like we're playing a best of 5, but we're only 2 into a best of 3, Wolf. That last point with double Mercy staying alive and 5 resurrects in a single engagement meant that we had quite the lung-bursting action happening on screen, and both teams seem a little bemused to find themselves still no closer to even a first set capture in our last match of the day.
Yeah, I still do feel that Space has been playing better. They struggled to close that one out, unfortunately, but especially in the early part, they had the better exchanges in neutral. Neutral referring, of course, to right as the capture is spawning. You don't necessarily need to fight there, but you want to fight to get some kills and win the ult war so that you have the cap and you have the better ult economy going to the first defense of said capture. We're going to start that neutral engage right here, right now. Space has been taking it every time. We'll see if they can repeat it 3 for 3.
In the comps, once again, big separator is the Genji play on the side of Infinity, but so far Easy Bro hasn't been able to make the Dragon Blades work. In fact, we've only seen a single Dragon Blade on 2 maps, and
once more, Space gets the way better exchange here in neutral. Will be the first cap. Will have the ult lead. And ult economy, one fact, escapes with his life briefly there, but is eventually killed by Yaki, who recalls to full.
I just have to feel like what was once a strength, specifically the double DPS, synergy on the side of Infinity, seems to be a cost because Easy Bro seems to be disconnected from his team and often living fights. Did not die in the initial engagement, but only 30% charge onto his Dragon Blade and no real impact on the first fight.
One back's gonna have a pulse bomb. We'll see how he uses it here. Easy Bro's already dead, which means, again, not building that Dragon Blade that he really needs. There's the pulse bomb onto Ana. Gets the double kill. That's perhaps going to be what they need to turn this around. If Easy Bro were here with the Dragon Blade, this would easily be a cap. All right, Yaki coming back here. Kuki with the kill as well. This is non-stop action between these two. No real separator, except it seems that Space has a better mechanical play. Yaki with the pulse bomb. And they're going to control this point. 3 ults available to none as we reach the 50% mark.
Yeah, Yaki and Kuki on the backside there, the duo with the amusing names able to stick the landing, even though Infinity opened up with the double kill on the side of the Tracer. Now 3 ultimates, soon to be 6 on the side of MVP Space, and check that camera left and right.
Looks like they want to try to perhaps sleep dart the Diva into a big attack visor. And Infinity, a very slow approach here. Easy Pro switched off the Genji, by the way, to a Roadhog, looking for a pick rather than the big ult wombo. It's not been able to work for him so far. Naki has the sound barrier. He's super deep in here, diving in. Sound barrier getting so much value on the side of Infinity, but Undyne is already dead.
We're tracking Yaki as he tries to take down Easy Bro, so close to bringing down the Roadhog. There he goes down.
Gives him a pulse bomb as well with all that ult charge he built. Climax not even having to use the attack visor here. 2 dead already on the side of Infinity as Breck's shield is knocked away. This looks to be a hold. 5% left to go. Climax still holding onto that attack visor. And I think they're going to defend this. No problem. Now's the tick down on that overtime. Why not? Desperately tries to hold this, but it's not going to matter.
Attack visor used just to stop anyone. They have the Reinhardt ulted, and he actually steps off the point, so it's going to be the capture and also first map win, finally, to MVP Space.
The 2-1 score gives them Lijiang as we head into our hybrid map. Our first, potentially, of 2 in this best of 5.
And Hollywood basically every time of asking, so not expecting that to change unless we got some shenanigans going on. Watch point Gibraltar's been overlooked.
Only Mighty AOD bringing out the Nubani pick.
Yep.
Which did not work out for them in the end. Stylistically, Easy Bro just doesn't seem to have the gel with his team tonight, which in his defense, we have seen from him in the past. He's been a really good Genji in the past. That's in my notes is how good his Genji was previously. But tonight is not his night. And again, like I said earlier, I know this is obvious, but on game day, that's all. Game day is all that matters. Past results, expectations of the fans, research we've done. His performance tonight has been poor, no matter which way you look at it.
And there's no smoke and mirrors. Remember, these are sister teams. They scrim together, they practice together, they share a lot of coaching stuff. Eichenwald is actually cited for the first time today.
The first time this tournament as well. Have not seen it in play. This is going to be a fun one for sure.
So it's chosen by MVP Infinity. We'll see if they actually have some secret info on their sister team space because, again, we would have just expected Hollywood, but denied from us this time.
Indeed. I wonder what Easy Bro is going to play here. Will he actually try to run the Pharah Rascal style here, come in early to get the early picks from the air, from that high ground, at least to start things off on the first capture? Or is he going to be running that Genji again? I don't feel like his Roadhog was very successful at all. Yeah, things are looking desperate right now for Infinity. Can they tie it up on their map pick? The first Eichenwald of the tournament. Let's find out.
I get it.
Easy Bro, he gets the Genji to start things off. At least that's what he's showing us pre-spawn.
And certainly you're not in any way concerned on paper with the team comp that for now at least MVP Infinity is threatening. Looks like a very standard dive comp, which is certainly one of the different avenues you can have as our first Orisa death.
First Orisa death in the tournament.
Yep.
Didn't see that one yet.
As a statistic, 0% game time, 1 death.
Rip. That's not good for his stats. Anyone who sees that's like, yeah, we definitely shouldn't run it.
Twilight's tilted now as Laris brings down the KDA of Sombra as well. I mean, Sombra on defense here probably wouldn't be awful. I bet if we saw Twilight playing, there would certainly be some consideration there for point A Sombra.
Absolutely. So a lot of different ways for her to harass the backline with so many different hidden translocator spots. Hard to punish. And she can get up onto the high ground here with said translocator as well. It's at such a low cooldown. Here's a new pathway here to the right side. You can carve around here, so there's a different entry point to go through. But
might be one of the few reasons that you don't actually have to run Reinhardt on the first point, given that choke control used to be by far the biggest factor. Maybe it does open up more access for dive comps like this Winston comp from MVP Infinity to find access 2.8.
All right, Easy Bro, it's time to show your stuff here. After a lackluster performance, especially on Night Market with the Genji, they'll look to run it again on this attack. Space holding the high ground. Here comes Breck up to the top. Yeah, they're just going to brute force this, almost like a big Earl push from Route 66.
We already have 1 tick on the control meter, 1 drop down from MVP Space, sorry. Breck dies, that's the large part of the front line gone for Infinity. They probably have to back away.
Just nearly a small few seconds away from that second tick. But the first, they got it on that push, built a decent amount of ults. Not a bad exchange for them by any stretch of things. Easy Bro halfway to the Dragon Blade.
Let's see if Space just reset, go for exactly the same setup. First answer is yes. Once again, not contesting the lower ground, sticking on the high ground.
Look for Breck to just jump in again.
Yeah, one factor already is ticking up the control meter. There's the first drop down from Daly.
Okay, Undyne about to have that Transcendence, but still no Dragon Blade yet for Easy Bro. Needs to get further in. Breck jumps up, but is immediately countered by Climax's stun. And Daly's going to pick the kill on Bianca. Easy Bro building up a lot of meter here. Actually has a Dragon Blade, so we'll have it for the next push. So all things considered, I feel like this works out for Infinity. Not what they wanted, but the objective is going to be secured. They now have the combo. They can use Transcendence on the Dragon Blade. Then why not? We'll soon have the Sound Barrier to perhaps finish that fight on and take the point.
Big factor also is to find a way to get Laris, trivialize him, and stop him from just using the Biotic Grenade to trivialize the Transcendence. Otherwise, as you say, having a full health Genji running around killing everyone seems to be pretty surefire way to pick up this point A.
Okay, there's
Extra Cowboy.
the Cowboy coming in here. No kills, unfortunately. But they do knock Bianca out of the suit. And no pairing with the Dragon Blade. But based on what we saw on Nightmarker, he's probably just going to pop it now. Not actually, won't do that. Going to be waiting for another setup here, very likely, as it's just a one-for-one trade.
He dies as well.
Yeah.
So maybe MVP.
Okay, he's going to go for it. The sound barrier is up now with the Transcendence. He will commit. This is actually a good usage of that Dragon Blade, finally finding the window, and they will get the cap.
Yeah, the big factor there was taking down Kuki. The Reinhardt being dead really opened up the dive, and finally, as you say, the 3K on the Genji is enough with the Dragon Blade to capture them point A. They will start the push.
They had enough fight in them to get Why Not the sound barrier, which really helped him out, as they used basically everything. Minus
Basically,
the Primal Rage.
It was a steady as she goes. 2 dives to the death to pick up meter. 2 eco pushes, I guess you could call them, into finally pulling the trigger on the Dragon Blade.
Really nice they got that first tick with the first push as well.
Brett can contest the high ground for a long time. Has the ultimate's been sitting on, the Primal Rage. No Primal Rage for Kuki.
That's one way to break this high ground, which is the next step in this push. Looks like they're going to just push for the low ground right now. Pulse Bomb goes in here. One Fact not able to secure the kill. Asleep onto One Fact. Breck finally does use this ultimate, the Primal Rage, to try to knock Yaki into the pit. Unfortunately unsuccessful. Feels fairly wasted. 3 seconds left. He's just going to go back and get a health pack even though he didn't need it. So that was, you could see the idea for that one, but in practice did not work out.
And you have to wonder about the comms because it was used after 2 kills already picked up from MVP space, and they need the Primal Rage contest the high ground. They don't have anyone else barring the Genji with Dragon Blade.
And maybe Bianca, but you're really reaching at this point. Yaki's glad for Bianca to dash up here. Easy Bro is playing with fire, sneaking around the backside here. She's going to knock them down onto the low ground.
But they're not getting any movement on the cart. What you want to do is dive the top while someone like the Lucio brings up the cart, and you're winning the fight.
Much tougher to do so with the current Lucio patch because he needs to be nearer, so he can't heal as much on the cart, which compounds the problem because the cart has now rolled back, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, stalling out. So maybe we'll see Eichenwald, you know, has that reputation of being one of the hardest hybrid maps to complete, become even harder, even with the tweak to stop the doors from closing on point C.
Okay, One Fact with the Pulse Bomb here, looking for a pick to start things off. EasyBro going to have the Nano Blade available for him in just a second. There's the kill on Dolaris. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Why Not goes down, and this push will be halted in its tracks here. EasyBro dead before he can use it. Undying going to have the Nano for the next push, but this one is not going to work out, and time is ticking. The next push may very well be their last.
They will have the Nano Blade for it. You'd have to imagine that seems to be the only strategy that's got them significant traction and separate the team. Nice double kill.
Ruining the spawns here. Forward, they need to have everyone together, including Breck, to make this work. They've got a long push distance. They're just going to pop it early without him.
Dragon Blade so far getting nothing.
What's the reasoning behind this Dragon Blade? Popped way too early without Breck. And total waste of 2 ults there. I can't imagine this is going to finish.
Usage though on the side of MVP Space, just ulting the Winston, who stopped basically the whole cavalry from pushing up from MVP Infinity. Still a minute left, still one more potential contest of the cart. But it's only with the dregs of significant ultimates, really only the Primal Rage.
Yeah, a solid defense from Space, but it leaves you with the head scratch when you see a Nano Bladed Genji really looking for targets, clearly feeling himself probably a bit confused. With the good splits from Space there, they handled it very well. Infinity now going to have a fairly weak follow-up push, only with the sound barrier to try to use to make this work. Climax gets the pick here, already kind of weakening this push. One Fact going down, Breck as well. They're disjointed. Why is he even here alone? Yeah, it feels like Infinity is falling apart now, as this is going to be a wipe. 15 seconds to go.
Can they even contest the cart to start the formation? You can see still 3 members respawning. One Fact you will be expected to be able to get on, but no more than that. Actually just dies to the enemy Climax, the enemy Tracer, and he may not even be able to contest the cart. We see the attempted front line, but no more, and this should be just a cleanup for MVP Space.
I think so. EasyBro going to maybe try to use this overtime to farm that Dragon Blade and pop, but he's not going to have Nano for it. He will in a little bit longer, but I don't think they have that time to waste. Self-destruct here, not going to get any picks. Yaki already with the kill on EasyBro. There's no Dragon Blade. One Fact is down. The sound barrier to help clean things up, and this should be the hold here. 69.47 meters. And that's going to be all she wrote. Climax wipes the floor clean, wipes the slate clean. There you have it.
And the last 8 to 10 kills of the game were all MVP space. No picks, ultimates used. The level of disconnection between the MVP Infinity members was honestly not worthy of an Apex team in terms of just how all over the place they were. And MVP Space, the unfancied sister team of Infinity, really looked a class above their sister team.
Breck especially, with that last jump in. He had 2 weird primal rages, but that last jump in left me wondering, is anyone talking in comms? Because no one is even near him. No one is even near the archway. And
what a fall from grace for MVP Infinity,
yeah.
who, I was, looking over VODs, watching the intro to their match against BK Stars, and they were expected to come in, beat BK Stars, end up 1-2 overall. Those close losses to Envious and Meta Athena on this day, counting for nothing. The BK Stars 3-0 seems to actually have been the start of a trend for MVP Infinity, because they haven't picked up a single map win since they faced Meta Athena.
Meta Athena, a semifinalist, Envious, defending champions. They had a great start. But yeah, this is not the same team. Perhaps in name it is, but in performance, absolutely not. For Space, theoretically, this should be an easy push. Infinity on the defense, going to switch Breck back to the Reinhardt. Easy bro. Obviously on defense, the Genji not going to be as effective. We'll be looking for picks on the Roadhog. One fact stays off the Tracer.
We saw 3 control point maps on Lijiang Tower and attacking phase, and you could point to maybe 1 good Nanoblade, and that was the one that claimed point A for MVP Infinity on Eichenwald, and this is for a team that's known for their Genji play.
I just realized, I was wondering why the Korean commentators put Bianca on camera. He's not going to be playing Diva. Going to be pulling out the rare Zarya. We'll see if he can make it work. Definitely not a practiced hero for him in terms of past performances.
Be going with the Pharmacy here. Trying to approach, so no dive comp from MVP Space.
Everybody's already on the low ground here. No one even attempting to contest Climax right now. He's free to do damage. You see Kuki jumps up here.
They get access to this area that MVP Space spent so much time defending in the previous map.
Look at how much free damage he's able to put in here. Another concussive knocks Bianca onto the low ground. He's soon to have a rocket barrage.
They knew this was coming. They have the McCree, they have some tech to deal.
I don't think Climax has taken a single point of damage. He has now. He gets hooked.
Doesn't
gets
die.
Survived anyway, yeah.
He actually had the Diva there to absorb the damage and stop him from dying just to the point blank shot.
Most of Laris' healing has actually been on his teammates. He does drop the res super early, and here's the rocket barrage. This should be an easy first take with 3 minutes left on the clock here for Space. No one nearby to contest, and they're just going to let it go.
To call it an anemic defense would perhaps be a compliment. They didn't have anywhere near the clean setup that MVP Space had in the MVP Infinity attacking round, where they frustrated them for a couple of points, forced them to charge up and use multiple ultimates. They used a missile barrage on the end, but it was basically the cherry on top, and we already know they don't have very far to push after this.
No, they certainly don't. Such a long time bank. I wonder what's the answer here. At least one fact gets this stun kill. He almost was killed by Yaki, so that's one consolation for Infinity. Can they hold on to this high ground for much longer? Easy bro dropping down, and MVP Space will have to set up for another push. Laris soon to have another res, so they may just all-in dive on the top with Kuki. If Yaki can get around, he dies once more. Can't do it a third time, I have to say. He's going to have to tighten that up.
They do have, 3, 4, maybe 5 pushes left.
Yeah,
with the
so
big
many.
time bank that they have. I imagine 3 coordinated pushes is perhaps what you would credit them for.
Climax, I was going to say, could switch off as well. He's going to switch to the McCree. So going to be a little bit less divey to get on top of that point. I think Laris will switch off after he drops the res. It's going to be the res push.
Soon to be 6 ultimates, though, for MVP Infinity, including the Graviton Surge.
Okay, let's see if they can be coordinated with it. They've struggled so far. Shield nearly broken here. Bianca does have that surge. Looking to drop it down here on the corner, potentially. Saves it to the last second. A 1-for-1 right now.
Infinity, to their credit, only used 1 ultimate. One fact dies with ultimate up.
Okay, he's going to drop it right on the payload here, but Daly is actually the one to get the first kill. Climax with a second here.
It's a 3-for-1 overall. They're going to start pushing the payload. Climax from the backside Gonna deal with the Reinhardts. Only Zarya here to control the point. This might be it.
Climax is just cleaning up house here. One Fact has the Deadeye, but he doesn't have the space to use it. No one's even nearby. He drops down late, and they are just going to push it through. And that will be Eichenwald going over to MVP space. This series didn't know how one-sided it would turn out to be, and I thought if it would be on Infinity's side. But they are getting outclassed by their sister team here so far.
And, you know, we talk about maybe the trap of saying, okay, 6 ultimates, that's going to be a repelled push. We've seen the power of a single ultimate from Earthsiders like Umtes earlier in the day. 6 ultimates available. A team fight lost. Climax popping off on the McCree, and MVP space looking to roll through 3-0 unless we see a dramatic improvement from Infinity.
I just can't see it.
No.
I can't even imagine it. Even if we lived in a parallel universe, I couldn't see it. Just with all the ults they had, the aggressive Graviton Surge from Bianca, still with every tool basically available in the game, in the meta, they weren't able to even take a positive trade. They lost the game off their own 6 ult defense. Hey guys, this could be a 3-0. It looks likely to happen, but we're not done just yet. Infinity will have another opportunity after we take a short commercial break. We'll be back in just a few. Well, Papa Smithy, we've had quite a few reverse sweep attempts tonight, but I cannot imagine in any world or parallel universe where this is going to be Infinity taking a single map. They are totally outclassed by their sister team here in space.
I mean, we're 8 hours into our broadcasting day, so, you know, you could understand some crankiness. I'm not being cranky, in all those previous matches, the team that was 0-2 had shown something. I really feel like MVP Infinity have basically shown nothing of any level of convincingness. Like, I don't know what the factor would be that would change. I don't think one player improving their form would actually propel them to pick up a map win. So I'm ready to be thrown a curveball. I'd be happy to see 5 quality games or 3 further quality games to close this series. But for now, you know, it looks like a golf in quality that on paper should never have been there.
A very bad night performance-wise for Easy Bro, who's shown really good play in the past. I can't imagine we're not going to Hanamura here, but perhaps they want to throw the curveball, and they do. So we're going to Volskaya 2 for 2. Caster curse on me here.
Well, Volskaya is definitely the sort of map where if you get that snowball capture, you know, you're pretty much primed to be able to hold it. So we'll see if actually MVP Infinity will open up attacking.
It almost feels like, and I know I'm being a bit facetious when I say this, but it almost feels like there's no comms on the side of Infinity. On Lijiang specifically, there was no synergy with the ults, but going into Eichenwald specifically, it almost looked like there was no synergy onto where anybody even was. You know, Breck running in there at the end, a lot of disjointment even in team movement.
I don't even think we need to pile in. I think the viewers can see the same Overwatch we're seeing. Let's hope for an uptick. It'd be kind of inglorious to see this team not necessarily be eliminated today, but, you know, getting to the point where it feels like even psychologically they're feeling eliminated.
If they want to be good enough to get into Apex, they're going to have to play better. Looks likely their sister team Space will take this on this map 3-0. Let's jump into Volskaya Industries.
I get it.
Welcome to Volskaya, where we see the sister teams duke it out for potentially the last time this evening.
I think it's pretty important that Infinity's attacking first. I think they need to be able to set a goal. I think if MVP Space had pushed both points, the full hold would have been, you know, implied almost, which is kind of a scary thing. As Climax, once again, playing with the hearts, but there's not going to be any Orisa today, apparently.
Nope. Infinity might as well give it a shot if they end up full holding here on the attack. Who knows? Daily showing us a larger hero pool today, bringing the Diva in, not only sticking with just the Zarya that he's most known for, and Yaki going to stick on the Tracer. Remember, Yaki kind of a jack-of-all-trades support, playing Ana mostly. That's his most played hero, but playing the Roadhog, the Pharah, and today a lot of Tracer.
And at least Infinity's trying something different. We've seen them try just a very traditional dive comp. Didn't work. I think Breck has been perhaps the most disconnected with his team in map 2 after Easy Bro was disconnected from his team in map 1. So let's see if OneFat can pull off some sick headshots, maybe at least get into a highlight montage. That'd be the biggest win so far today.
Well, every single early game has gone the way of MVP Space. Significantly. So we'll see if this push here.
Nice defensive line, actually. They're respecting the potential of the Widowmaker.
They know OneFact well. They know his playstyle with the sister teams. They practice together quite often.
Oh, very nice.
The shot,
on the Climax.
Though. Yeah, on the Climax, knocking the soldier off.
It's in 6v5. They're not on the point just yet, so no meter just yet.
Obviously, the wins here for Infinity are better than the kills for Space with a quick run back. They get 2 with Kuki now desynced on the spawn. OneFact looking to catch another here. Daily goes down.
This is looking like a 0.1 capture,
yeah.
So
Easy Bro actually gets the kill to closer as this just kind of continues to roll forward.
Max gets a double, but probably only just going to be ult meter for the side of the soldier.
Will they contest here? It's unlikely. Yaki runs back in. He's about to have a pulse bomb with a kill on the Climax once more here. It looks likely to be the finished cap here as OneFact's going to push Kuki out.
Nice headshot onto the Tracer.
Yep.
Still rolling, actually. Only one capture point taken as they've been filtering on and off, trying to continue to pick up the kills.
They've even just been struggling to stop these members from coming in, but they do knock Daily out, and that will finally be the cap. Decent time here for MVP Infinity, 6:30. Not going to try to push this into a double cap, but they have the Dragon Blade.
And One Fact deserves pull-out camera shot there. Some really nice mechanics on this Widowmaker. We'll still be taking it into point B, looking for that snowball capture. A couple of picks and a pulse bomb, and anything's possible.
Okay, Dragon Blade now could be paired with a Nano. They're probably just going to commit with it. They have the Breck ult as well here. Here we go. Dragon Blade with Sound Barrier as well in the Nano. First the kill on Dolores. They're looking for more. Sound Barrier has decayed now, and they only get one pick. Bianca loses the mech here. Does get knocked out. This was not the push they were looking for.
And Climax farming up that ult, does pick up one, but he falls down as well. One Fact still on this Widowmaker, so not really impacting the game with D.Va riding her grill, and this seems to actually stall things out, and it will not be snowball capture for MVP Infinity.
Probably just happy he got a pulse bomb out of it as he died, and now he's going to come back as Tracer. And Space has a long hold ahead of them, but on this map specifically, 5 minutes is not an unprecedented hold. It's quite common, in fact. They've got set up the self-destruct. Climax did use the visor.
Not using any traditional point B defense. Heroes worth noting. No sign of the Mei just yet.
Yeah, perhaps more of a desperation play by them.
Big setup change. Bianca onto the Zarya and also Easy Bro. And One Fact with some big changes. One Fact we're watching right now, coming through this ledge that significantly only Tracer can ride around.
Yep, no pulse bomb here, so he's going to have to look for the headshots here. Looking for the kill, unfortunately, onto Loris. It fails. A self-destruct here defensively for Daily. Going to get the pick onto Bianca. Why not goes down with a nice Helix Rocket Connect for Climax, which helps build his ult meter a little bit further. This is going to be another stopped push. 4:30 now, a minute burned off the clock.
And Climax just fighting on the lower ground, not even using high ground, not even playing from range. Doesn't have to respect a Genji anymore, so there isn't much threat at all onto the side of the soldier, especially when Tracer had her hands full dealing with the supports.
So they're going to have Nano Visor.
They're going to have basically everything short of the Lucio ult and the D.Va ult.
The Nano Visor are going to be a great tool to work with here, especially if they can stop Breck in his tracks. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful with his positioning. He's been super aggressive so far this series. One Fact, looking for a pick here. He's got the pulse bomb in just a second. The sneaky backdoor
Both
play we're seeing.
support's already dead, so it's going to back away. No point persisting with this push. It's going to be feeding meter to the side of MP Space. That's why you see everyone jump off.
Yep, Climax looks like he got the triple, but he just hurt everybody. We have the shot on him. One Fact gets a kill, and he's just going to stick around. Obviously, this was a big win for Space. They burned another minute off the clock. Each push has taken about 60 seconds. So
They used nothing, really. You know, you think about a pulse bomb, but everything else still available for MVP Space.
Infinity has a nice setup of ults, too, though. Critically missing the Graviton Surge, which would be amazing for them. They can pair it with the Pulse Bomb. One Fact has been waiting to use this entire time. He's looking for the kill here onto Kuki. Actually forces out his very early Primal Rage here. He's going to get the kill, the double. Why not knocked off here? Climax picks the triple. And once more, another minute burned off the clock, and another push stopped in its tracks.
And the biggest concern is the fact that you could consider these eco pushes. You know, at the end of the day, you're pushing Volsky at point B. You're not expected to take it without a big AoE, like, for example, the Graviton Surge. Bianca's been on Zarya for, what, 3 minutes at this point, and only now is hitting 71% charge. So it doesn't really feel like it's a satisfying eco push unless Zarya's picking up 35% plus charge, which hasn't been the case.
They're just sitting on the other 4 ults they've had basically this entire time. So these are totally failed, and she's not even trying to commit to it. They all just leap off the side, which gives them the most time-efficient pushing, but it's not ult-efficient, as you said. This could be the one they look for.
They just need Graviton Surge desperately.
They could use Sound Barrier to force it to get the Graviton Surge. They could have potentially had 2 if they were a little bit more aggressive here. Sound Barrier might be their start for the engagement. Attack already on. And
this
she's
the
dead.
Nano Visor timing. Triple with the Nano Visor, pushing out aggressively. MVP Infinity putting up such a great first push, but now rolling over. But still cap this point. Nothing's impossible. Bianca just from picking up percentage over time, will get to 100%.
Yeah, 20 more since the last push. One fact got greedy there. Got his pulse bomb, but did desync a little bit. Of course, he's Tracer, so we'll get back pretty soon.
Bianca desperately needs this ult. It's ludicrous he doesn't have it yet. Some of the harass being eaten up.
He should just commit to a fight if they're going to go for it here. He'll get it no matter what. Looks like they want to try to do this sneaky push, but it's so obvious. They've done it so many times.
Let's see if it's worth it. Finally, Graviton Surge up for Bianca.
Okay, will he use it on this fight? Brett gets the kill onto Kuki. This could be their opportunity, but there is a defensive sound barrier. Here's the Surge. It's going to be a double here, but Climax gets the kill onto Bianca counterwise. We do see the self-destruct come up here for Daily as they try to buy time. This could be Infinity's final moment here. 58 seconds on the clock. Breck does have the Surge Shatter. Could just go ahead and drop it down now. Wants to save it, wants to get more kills here. They can't lose anybody. If they lose anybody, it's so bad. But there's that big root.
Primal Rage actually pushes him away from picking up the kills after the Earth Shatter being chased away from the point. More and more kills going the way of the defending team. We know about the defender's advantage. Goodbye, Breck. Goodbye, hopes, you'd have to say. For MVP Infinity, only got a single point, investing all their ultimates. Now you just can't see a way forward for MVP Infinity.
One fact switches to the Soldier. He wants the quick run back to make sure he could be there in time. There's no way he's going to have attack visor unless this becomes the longest defense of MVP Space's career. Loris has the Nano. They have the Nano visor defense. Soon, if the fight goes longer, there's also going to be that self-destruct for the push-off in overtime. It's going to take a miracle here for Infinity, but they're going to try it.
Oh, boy.
Kuki gets the kills here. He's nanoed, in fact, actually. The visor going straight into the Diva. No protection here for Why Not. He's too high up. And this is going to be the end of the push here for Infinity. They're not going to take that second cap despite the long time bank they had. That's the end of it. Overtime is over. And now MVP Space, all they need is 2 caps to take this series with a 3-0.
And the end result of only picking up a single point on Volskaya, standard. Definitely one of the hardest maps, probably the hardest map in the game to capture both points. But the 2-point captures, even including all the maps, sort of maybe something like Eichenwald. But the manner in which MVP Infinity just seemed completely all at sea. Remember, they chose to play on this map, thinking they could actually turn it, but they had so many different approaches, but just kind of their dogged waiting for Bianca to ambiently pick up the Zarya charge without using one ultimate and trading it for 50% charge on ult as Zarya free hits.
Yeah, I like your point on this, you know. It was something that they absolutely could have forced with Why Not just dropping the sound barrier. If it fails, they have so much more time. How many times at 4 minutes, 3:30 did they just not drop it? He could have had 3 sound barriers
and it's development and understanding of Overwatch, because back at the start of Overwatch, we would have talked about, wasted ults and things like that, and people would talk about, hey, you use the Genji ult to draw out support ults, and then next time you'll win the fight, because you know supports don't have ultimates. They didn't use anything, draw out anything. Zarya wasn't getting any hits, that was getting just eaten by the Diva defense matrix, and it ended up being more ambient charge than actual damage charge by the Zarya.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, we've seen Transcendence used, for example, to make sure Genji has the Dragon Blade, so he's protected while he gets that free damage. Then when he has it, he has the Nano on him. There's a lot of different ways to force ults using your defensive supports, usually the Transcendence or the Sound Barrier in this case. They did neither. They got nothing. And MVP Space sets up for the attack here. If things go as they have so far, I worry for Infinity here. They've got one last shot. If they get full hold, they'll force the game 4.
And it could definitely go long. It's worth noting that the first point significantly easier to capture than the second point. You could definitely see a defense on the second point and a control map or an assault map required to decide this one. Volskaya, very difficult map to full complete.
So Climax is switching over to this McCree. If he can actually get one fact knocked off the high ground, if he gets a few headshots there, that could really turn things early. Actually sneaking around, he's going to look for the stun kill with the right-click fan the hammer. He's found, unfortunately. Or no, he's not. Okay, they don't see him. Here's the big
Great coordination here from the side of MVP Space. They pick up one fact instantly. Definitely a pre-planned move. The timing on there, the communication that was absent from the side of Infinity.
They collapsed. They collapsed. Kuki came in as well from the other side. It was a sandwich there. And this is going to be the full wipe. Only Daily goes down for Infinity. Yaki's already setting up for the double cap here. They're going to go for it. They're going to look for the closeout here very early on. Already setting up for some picks on point B. Very early to send, but they're looking for it.
And it's the highlight of the series we've seen so far. It's been the best play between the two MVP teams because the coordination, the communication, the idea, and also the planning all came to us. That's basically an ecstasy of things happening correctly at the same time. But still, 6 minutes 48. We've seen longer defenses crazily on a map like Volskaya, so we'll expect the best, but be prepared for the worst.
Absolutely. Yaki took the left side path. He didn't have the pulse bomb here, so couldn't actually get the picks he was looking for the double cap. He's got it now, though, and there's the kill on Easy Bro already. Pulse bomb still available as Climax inches forward here with the Deadeye. 2 dead already, make it 3. We could have a very quick end to this series if nothing changes soon. Kuki not even having to use the Primal Rage here, can use it to try to secure the cap. They get it, they don't even need it. And wow, that was pretty quick. Quite quicker than production can even press the victory button as we take a 3-0 score.
MVP Space deserve victory.mp3. I don't know if there is an appropriate track for MVP Infinity. You talked about that awkward ride home for these two teams that came in on that MVP transportation, and probably going to be 5 people, 6 people even, pretty quiet on the ride home, as there was only one team in this series, and that was MVP Space.
Yeah, Infinity was not there, man.
And a lot of celebration, obviously.